Hello, boys and girls. Today I'm going to tell you the story of Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle. Take your thumbs and tuck them into your fingers like this. Once upon a time, Mr. Wiggle wanted to visit Mr. Waggle. He opened his door, zoop, stepped outside, whoop, and closed the door. Bam! He went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill until he arrived at Mr. Waggle's house. He knocked on the door. No answer. He knocked again. No answer. So he went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill until he arrived back home. He opened his door, zoop, stepped inside, boop, and closed the door. Bam! One day, Mr. Waggle wanted to visit Mr. Wiggle. He opened his door, zoop, stepped outside, boop, and closed the door. Bam! He went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill until he arrived at Mr. Wiggle's house. He knocked on the door. No answer. He knocked again. No answer. So he went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill until he arrived back home. He opened his door, zoop, stepped inside, boop, and closed the door. Bam! One day, Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle wanted to visit each other at the same time. They opened their doors, zoop, stepped outside, boop, and closed the door. Bam! They went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and met each other along the way. Well, Mr. Waggle, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Wiggle. How about yourself? I'm doing just fine. I went to the apple orchard and got me some apples. You don't say. Are you planning to make any applesauce? I sure am, and maybe a pie too. That sounds fantastic. Well, I gotta go. Goodbye, goodbye. And they went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill until they arrived back home. They opened their doors, zoop, stepped inside, boop, and closed the door. Bam! The end. Thank you, boys and girls, for helping me tell the story of Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle.